What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
BlueNote. Oh, yep. Maybe I got it. Okay, maybe your BlueNote Fan Report. Still trying to figure some things out. How are we doing today? I'll tell you, this is just a BS session. So if you're not talking, if you're not chatting, if you're not using the chat room, then you're blowing it today. Use the chat room, put in comments, let's get the chalk going. And in about 20 minutes or so, I will play my NHL Radio interview from Thursday. The last time we did it, I was able to get him to do it via Zoom. So I had video. Well, this time they called me. So I don't have good audio. So what I had to do is I have NHL, I got Sirius, I'm paying for the monthly subscription because I don't know how often they're going to call, and I want to be able to, so I got to basically take the audio off of that. And it's not easy. Sometimes it gets garbled, sometimes there's some issues with it. And that is what it is. So I will make it up from there. Aaron, how you doing? Actually, Aaron, I don't have it. I can probably show it. We had a weather event last night for about an hour or so. Basically, we had a tsunami warning here in Hawaii, and it went on for about an hour. There was an earthquake outside of Russia in the Pacific area. I might be able to post some pictures of it later. I'm not going to do it now and kind of go from there. So, but it went for about an hour, and then they determined there was no tsunami threat and then canceled it. But I've seen where, if the threat goes long enough, this state kind of goes into a state of emergency. It's almost like having a tornado in somewhat. Thoughts on the all under 23 team? I honestly haven't seen it, Aaron. I'll just be honest with you. I have not seen the full list. I do know that our Boberg got left off the defenseman, and I think that's a travesty. I'm guessing Holloway and Holloway and Boberg both might be 24. I don't think they are. I think they're still under 23. So they said under 23, right? So is that 23 and under or 22 and under? So Boberg is 23, so that could be why that went that way. And I don't know. But I'm pretty sure Neighbors might. Well, I think Neighbors is over. No, I don't know if Neighbors might be that too. I'd have to look at the Blues roster here in a bit. Give me a moment. I had to restart my computer, so I don't have everything that I had from before. What I might do with the audio, I might just play it instead of what I copied. I might just play the on-demand stuff that I have. Right? Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Give me a second. No. Yeah, I'm okay. Here we go. So let's see. Boberg's 24, right? That's what I thought. Boberg's 24, and I could see that why he got snubbed, right? So that kind of Holloway's still 23, but he'll be 24. This will be his age 24 year, I think. I'm not sure when his birthday is. And Neighbors is 23 also, right? Hey Wayne, how you doing, my friend? Um Sorry guys, I'm kind of dealing with some stuff with my thing here. Aaron says 23 and under, I believe. So that could be yeah, I mean, we haven't had like if we're gonna get a real one, that means the earthquake's gonna be like right outside the Big Island, like happened in Japan in Fukushima, where it was by the time if it's that far away, by the time it gets here, it's pretty, it's minimized. It loses its force, but you never know, right? Uh, Marianne says you think it's BS on. Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. I mean, basically, and I talked about it in the last episode. Doug Armstrong said he's gone fishing, right? He said he's gone fishing, and I'm okay. Armstrong's gone fishing. So I do have the audio keyed up, and we will play that audio here in a little bit. I will bring it on, and we'll go from there. Again, I hope it works, and I hope you can hear it. There is, again, no video. It's just going to be audio, and I can sit in the side. They're going to bring me back probably sometime after the season begins. He said 20 to 30 game mark. It might be sooner than that. I'm hoping when they do a preview that it might be then. Well, I mean, I'm on today because I've been fighting the darkness today. So figured I'd get on and just quit stopping. You know what, Marianne? That's in the interview. How about we wait to the interview for that? How about we wait? I'm going to go to about the 20-minute mark. I want to give everybody, some people some chance, share it around, get some people a chance to get on. I know there were some people that wanted to hear it. We won't see him. We won't see who, Shockman. I'm kind of lost there, bud. Oh, by the way, I got to say a huge thank you to Wendy, to Windy City Hockey, to Nick. The background, he did that for me, right? It's got the new Blues logo, right? I look at it now and I think maybe I'd like a little smaller, right? But he lightened it up and he did some things. I've got a few different variations of it. I kind of like this one, with the words there, and then I can adjust them and put the pictures behind it, of what's going on for the show that day. What do you guys think? You liked the background? I can pop me out of it here real quick. Give me a moment. I'm gonna drop me out of the background here real quick. There we go. So there's the background without me in it. You guys can take a look at it and tell me what you think. I like it. I really do. I think that it's it's solid. I got to be honest, man. I think it's solid. I think Wendy did a great job with that. Okay, now I'm back here. Uh She just asked about the goalie. So I'm talking. Oh man, I don't know what. Oh God, you guys are out there. You disagree with what? What do you disagree on, Mary? I'm lost. I maybe not there with where you were. Help me out, Mary. Okay. Well, I did not get to talk about the John Kelly thing on the interview. I have talked about it. I am disappointed too. And there's a lot of stuff going around, right? A lot of blame going around. And in all actuality, I think it just comes down to until we can see what goal. See, you got me a little bit confused. You said thoughts on the goalie we got. What do you mean the goalie we got? We didn't get a goalie. Unless you're talking about in the draft, and he's years down the road. So I'm kind of a little questionable about what you mean there. Right? You got to help me out. John Kelly got shafted. Yeah. Here we go. I'll get the run. I do think that in the draft. Okay. Yeah. The guy in the draft, Love Hamstrom, that's a flyer. But if you're going to, he's got to be. I mean, goalies don't, he's 18. Goalies don't get to that point till they're 24. So he's so far down the road. He's the future. He's a backup to our backup's backup. He's not going to you're not going to see him this year, next year, or the year after. He's down the road. Right? Sister JJ says it looks great and does not distract. I thank you. Right? I know. So I did this one. Hold on a sec. Here we go. So I've been putting, and I don't know if you've seen this, when I do the thumbnails, I've been trying, like if I usually have 3 topics. I thought, let's put pictures of the 3 topics up to help it along. Now, this is the old background. And the one issue with the old background was right here, and you can't see me doing the little circle with the mouse, I don't think. But the one issue was up here in the corner. I had to put the old BlueNote or the new BlueNote over an old BlueNote because the old BlueNote was part of the background along with the BlueNote Fan Report words. And because of that, right, Wendy asked me if I wanted to update, and I told him what was going on, and he was glad to help, and this is what he did. I like what he did with the words, the way he made it with that coloring. I do, now that I see it here, I think the BlueNote's a little big. So I may talk to him next time he's on to see about making that a little bit smaller. But other than that, I do like the backgrounds, right? And by the way, Sister JJ, that right here, that's from you. Thank you. Right? Let's see here. There you go. No, maybe go that way. There we go. You kind of gave me that one. You sent me that so I don't have the white around it, and I kept the white on the inside. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. That was I really appreciate that. He's at earliest 4 years away, and that's only if he totally dominates the next 4 years everywhere they have him play. And I agree with you, Wayne. Getting a goalie in the 6th round, that's okay. That's goalies mature. Yeah, I mean, you get lucky with a goalie every now and then, and the Blues did with Pennington, but Pennington was a 6th round draft pick. Right? Pennington wasn't a 2nd or a 3rd round draft pick. I'm pretty sure Pennington was a 6th round draft pick. I could be wrong on that, and I very well could be wrong on that. But I'm pretty sure Jordan Bennington was a 6th round draft pick. Where is? I'm trying to find his information. Oh man, overview, contract history. Here we go. I guess they don't show it on here. I'm pretty sure he was a 6th round pick, though. All right. Jordan Bennington. Oh, he was a 3rd round pick. I was wrong. Okay. Shoot me. I was wrong. Yes, I am happy with the team as it stands. And that's a good question, but I'm not alone. Just hey, sorry, man. I've been fighting. You and me have been talking, right? And I've told you I'm going through some depression stuff and dealing with that. And I just decided the last minute, I was trying to go out and drive and I couldn't drive. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go on and talk for a little bit. And I know people have asked about the interview. And because it wasn't done in Zoom, I was not able to get a good recording copy of it. Right?
Yeah.
And can you tone your sound down a little bit? I'm getting some feedback. There we go. Oops. Okay. He might come back here in a second. 3rd round. Yeah, I was wrong. I admit it. I admit it. I'm sorry. Is there someone right now? Is there? No, not really. I mean, not anybody that you can have. And not think about you look at our roster right now. And we're where we're supposed to be when this retool started. We're right where we're supposed to be. This was the year that it was supposed to come together. And for the most part, I feel like it has. You have some draft picks that went from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was. The 3 first-round draft picks, 3 years ago, yeah. And one of them's up. 2 of them could be up, right? Oh, Bennington. Absolutely, Bennington.
Right.
You there,
is that better? Is that better or on the sound end? I don't know if it was picking up my fan or not. So.
Yeah, no, it did. I was getting I was hearing myself over your speakers.
Oh, okay.
Right? No, so you're fine. That's what I meant. Oh no, you're good now. So
Okay.
So we're just doing some BS. And like I said, I did the interview on Thursday, but it wasn't done. And I tried to get it recorded through my sound machine, but apparently the video, the card that I bought it wouldn't format it. So I couldn't record it. So I had to take it directly off. I had to take it directly off of the radio or of the on demand. And in doing that, it's got some scratches and screeches, and it's not the greatest quality. So I've been working through some, and I'm not an audiophile. Like, I don't know how to go through the audio and change this, change that, do these little things. You know, I've asked for help from people that are, but they really, like, they would rather do it and not show you how to do it. They don't want to teach you how to do it. Maybe I got to take an audiophile class or something like that, or a audiography class or something like that. I don't know. But otherwise, so what I am going to do, I do have it on demand, and I'm going to pull that up here in a little bit, and we're going to play it. I said 20 minutes. Since Justin just joined us, we'll give a few more minutes. and I'll play it, and then we can, after it's done, you can talk about it. Total, it's about 14 minutes. Hey, Matt Lowe. Total, it's about 14 minutes. I did get to talk about some good stuff. Now, one thing to remember there's more I wanted to talk about. Justin, you've learned this from doing the show with me. I have to direct the show, right? I've got to direct the conversation where I need it to go. Well, Mick has to do the same thing. And while I had things that I would have liked to talk about, Mick directed the conversation. What I did do is I shortened my answers a lot. Now, I got about 4 minutes more than I did the first time. I think that's good. I think that's telling you that what I said was great. And he even came back afterwards and told me he thought it was good, what I had to say. And that he agreed with some of that stuff. So, Matt Lowe, I am going to be playing. Oh, Holloway will be ready. Holloway absolutely will be ready. In fact, I know he's already skating. I know for a fact he's already skating. Right? Yes. We will be playing the NHL radio interview here in a little bit. I did not get to talk about the John Kelly thing. We talked about it a couple of days ago. We can kind of talk about it again. But I did. I feel like I used the information that we took from the show we did on Wednesday to give a good solid to what needed to be talked about, right? I'm working on bringing it up. So I'm going to bring it up here in a little bit. And I got to tell you, there was something so cool about this when they did it. And I showed the picture. And now look, I did not call myself this. They did. Right? Mm-hmm. They called me an insider. It said Guy BSing, St. Louis Blues insider. I was a little shocked that it said that, but I get it. It was not on me.
Got to be a solid feeling, though.
Say again.
I said that's got to be a solid feeling, though, that they have that kind of impression of you, though.
It was
nice.
I will say this. It did feel good. It was a little more than I expected. Hold on. Here we go. So yeah, a little more than I expected, and it did feel good. I will say that. And here we go. Share that in there. See where it says down at the bottom? Oh, that's right. You're blind.
Yeah. yeah. You got to remember that, man. My vision's not the greatest. No.
Yeah. When I call you blind, I'm not being a jackass. You know that, right?
Oh yeah, I know.
Right? No.
Believe me, I get it a lot. I know. I know you're not. No. You're not.
Hey guys, say repeat. Repeat. I don't know what he's going with there. So that was that. And then we're going to go. This is the interview. We're going to play it now. I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to ask Justin to let this go on its own. Right. And let everybody hear it. By the way, Chris, just call me. Chris is just saying for you, Justin, just call me Deaf, right? Which everybody knows I am. So, we'll let the interview play. It's about 15 minutes total because I got to start it a little bit earlier because he talks about me before the interview and he talks to me a little bit after the interview. So we're going to play it now. This is from the Power Play with Steve Coleus, I think is how you say it. However, Mitch Kearns was filling in for him this week. Mitch is the fill-in guy. And called me, asked me if I wanted to come on. I said yes, and here we go. This is my interview on NHL Radio. Are you ready? You ready there, Justin? Here you go.
Yes, sir.
Which we haven't had for a long, long time. So I think that's going to be the secret ingredient to why we're going to have a legitimate shot at the playoffs.
It's going to be tough, but you are going to be in the conversation. Thank you. Appreciate the phone calls today, just out of the blue, because we didn't give you a warning. We're going to do it again next week. I don't think we'd have calls tomorrow. We're packed tomorrow, but things could change. We come back, we're going to talk some St. Louis Blues. They made the playoffs. You know I love the Blues. They tied with the Flames, but they had the tiebreaker, and they almost beat the Jets. They came close. What are they going to be like? We'll talk some Blues. Summer edition of the Power Play.
Quick commercial.
You're listening to the Power Play on NHL Network Radio, live from the Norwegian Cruise Line studios. Experience more at sea with Norwegian Cruise Line. Visit ncl.com. That's ncl.com. Speaking of boats, my dad was 35 years Canadian Navy. Was actually on an aircraft carrier, the Bonaventure, back during the Cuban Missile Crisis. I was born 9 months later. You do the math. So I'm a Cold War baby. Our next guest is also a Navy vet, so you know I got a lot of time for that. My dad's a Navy vet. Guy BSing covers the St. Louis Blues. You know I love the Blue Note. Grew up a Habs fan because of my dad, but the team I picked as a kid was St. Louis Blues. My God is Gary Younger, and guys actually give me his contact. We're going to get Gary on at some point. But we had Guy back on, I don't know, some point before the playoffs. He lives in Hawaii, so this guy's living the life. He's covering the St. Louis Blues. He's got his own site. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We're going to talk some Blues here. Guy, are you there, my friend?
Yes, sir, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. What you do in the Navy all those years?
I was an engineer, gas turbine systems technician. I worked on the gas turbine or jet engines used for main propulsion and their support systems. I served on 4 ships, 2 guided missile cruisers, 1 guided missile destroyer, and 1 guided missile frigate.
Wow. I'm a Navy guy because of my dad, and my son, who's 21, wants to join the Navy. So it's in the blood. There's something about boats, right?
Yeah. I get it, my friend. I get it.
No, you do. You lived it. I lived all around it, but you lived it. Absolutely. Okay, so you're a St. Louis Blue guy. My first comment to you, and I texted you when it happened, they put up a heck of a fight against a Jets team. It turned out to be whoever won at home. But so it was a home series. They both need to learn how to win on the road, especially Winnipeg, who couldn't do it the next series. But the Blues were a shot away. And sure, it's disappointing that you lost, and you don't know what would have happened if you moved on. We have to go with what did happen. You have to be impressed by the Blues. 96 points, tied the Flames, had the tiebreaker, then pushed the best team in hockey in the regular season to the brink. You got to at least be impressed with that. And now how do you build on that, right, Guy?
Well, yeah. I mean, we talked about it the last time, and I had said that we were a year early.
Yeah.
And I was happy that we were a year early, and I could take that. What they did was incredible. A couple of ifs, ands, or a puck bounce here or there, and they're into the second round. And then you have Bennington against Oettinger, which I think would have been a heck of a series, but wasn't to be. Now you've got the offseason, and I think the Blues have done a really good job in the offseason.
Before we get into that, let's talk Binnington. This is a guy after he won the cup. First of all, he wasn't their main goalie. This is the legend of Jordan Binnington, but it's true. It just happened. The path opened up for him. He made the most of it. He was a big reason they won the cup in 2019. It was legitimate. Each year the numbers went down or they went up in the wrong way. So, but again, a goalie makes the team makes the goalie. He's slightly controversial pick for Canada for the Four Nations face-off. A lot of people wanted someone else. They said, the best days are over for him. Well, we saw that wasn't true. We saw him put in a performance and, in fact, keep Team Canada in it, robbed Brady Tkachuk to allow Canada to go the other way and score. It was absolutely stunning goaltending. And some guys out of the Four Nations face-off looked like, well, they were injured. Like Matthew Tkachuk was never the same and a few other guys. Binnington, though, that just lit the fire under him when he got back to St. Louis, didn't it, Guy? He just picked up from that. It's like he found who he was in 2019 again, didn't he?
Well, so I think, and just by looking at him, I've always said that Binnington plays better than his numbers. If you use the eye test and you look at him, he makes the saves you're not supposed to make.
Yep, yeah, he does.
And that's what.
Yep.
that's the sign of a good goalie.
Yeah.
So with Binnington, I think that during the Four Nation tournament, somebody said something to him. Somebody figured out he was tipping his pitches and snuck up to him and whispered in his ear and said he was doing this or doing that. And he corrected it. And when he came back from the break, he was ready to go. And it showed.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the best goalies from the Four Nations break to the end of the season.
I think a lot had to do with John Cooper and his belief in him. I think they had have really good relationship. And Binnington had the 900 save percentages again. Joe Hofer, they signed him. There was rumors that someone might try an offer sheet, but the Blues signed him up. You like him as a backup? Pretty solid, right?
Oh, I love Hofer as a backup. I'll tell you, I think right now, and this isn't me being a homer, I've talked to a couple other people that do what I do on the podcast side. The Blues probably have a top 5, if not top 3 tandem in the league.
Yeah, you can make that case. Absolutely. Yep.
When you look at 1-2, and not just one, but 1-2, they've got to be. I think they're the best in the Central. Okay. I honestly think that they have the best tandem in the Central, and that's going to move them forward. I was concerned that someone was going to offer Hofer a huge offer sheet that Doug Armstrong was going to have to, take or let go. But they got him signed. I always said that you need to be under 10% of your salary cap if they're goalies, and they're at 9.6. So they're at the right number for both these goalies for the next 2 years. And they've got a good the coverage stock with Ellis and Zerzinko. They've got a good cover.
Guy BSing from Hawaii joining us talking St. Louis Blues. We're going to find out the BlueNote Fan Report and all that kind of stuff that he does. We'll get that information for you after. We're still talking some Blues here. Okay, so they just made the playoffs. They could move forward. They could move backwards. It doesn't mean they're a bad team. Guy, it's just that the Central, the Central is, but the West is so tough. We tend to want to put incumbents in because we're comfortable. So I can make the case in no particular order: Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado make the playoffs again. Vegas. Okay, so I think Minnesota. I think St. Louis. Some say yes, some say no. I don't know about LA and Edmonton. And they're knocking on the door are Utah and Anaheim and Vancouver and Calgary. You know this. You've seen the schedule came out yesterday. You cannot afford to get off to a bad start because you're just chasing the whole time. Have you perused the schedule yet for the St. Louis Blues?
Yeah, I have. In the first 8 games, I did a show yesterday to prepare for today's interview. And in the first 8 games, I see 5 of them being very tough games. And I break the season down into 10%, so 8 games.
Yeah.
I feel like you need the goal is 10% or 10 points every 8 games, right? So that's winning 5 of 8 games, and I could see where the Blues could go 5-2-1, or they could go 3-5-1, or 2-5-1. It's all going to depend on what they're ready to do when the season opens.
Yeah, I just called up the schedule. The Wild, the Flames, the Canucks, the Blackhawks, the Stars, the Kings, and the Mammoth. Remember, we got to say that now. and the Red Wings. It's a real mixed bag. You play the Red Wings twice in the first month, which is weird. Guess you don't see them again for the season. And you play the Canucks twice. I'm with you. That's a mixed bag. So it's going to be interesting to see how they seize that opportunity. Absolutely.
Right. I look at the team right now, and I've seen some stuff on Twitter and some of the other, groups that do this, that said that the Blues aren't better now than they were at the beginning of the offseason. And I disagree with that.
Okay, tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why you think they're better.
Foska was making $3.125 to be a 4th-line center. Now you can move Sundqvist into that spot, and Foska didn't make that line. That line is Walker. Walker makes that line. When Walker's in the lineup, the team is energized. When he's out of the lineup, you can tell the difference. So Walker makes that line. You bring in, and I'm terrible with names, Bergstad and Suter, along with Shen. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Shen.
All right. Yep.
And 1 through 4, you've got Thomas, who could be a 100-point player next season. Suter, Shen, and Bergstrand as your centers. If those guys are ready to play, the guys around them, Kyrou and Holloway, they could both hit 40 goals or be 100-point players with the right center, and I think they've got the right centers now. I think that they've got the best goaltending, and I think they did well with defense. I'm not crazy about the Bolduc from Melu, and I say I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, that's all right.
Melu trade, but I understand it. I just wish we got more in return. I don't feel like that was an even-up trade. I think that we should have gotten either a 4th or 3rd round pick or a prospect from Montreal for Bolduc.
Two players that intrigue me, I probably should get more attention, and we're doing it now. You're doing a great job, is Robert Thomas. 81 points in 70 games. Just an excellent player. More of a playmaker than a goal scorer. And Dylan Holloway coming over in the big offer. 63 points in 77 games, 26 goals. No, when you say he could get 40, I'm with you, guy. This guy is just going to get better. What's he? 23 too, right?
Yeah. Well, you got it. When you look at Blues last season, you take the whole season. If you look at the whole season, you're making a mistake because the first 21 games of the season, when Bannister was the coach, they did not play offense. And those numbers are skewed because of that. Once Montgomery came in, if you take their numbers from when Montgomery came in, Robert Thomas scored more points than any other player in the NHL after the Four Nation break.
Yeah, he was outstanding. I agree.
With a healthy neighbors, with a healthy the Russian Bush Davids.
Yep.
Thomas could easily be in the 100-point range. Taking Holloway and Kyrou with either Suter or Shen. Guys that will help them. Those guys can score goals and get points. And then that third line, you've got two rookies down there with Shen. I could really see, and you've got a chance of having 2 Rookie of the Year candidates on this team in Malu and Snuggerud.
They're going to be interesting to watch. Oh, my goodness. So many teams, but you know I love the Blue Note. Guy, it's really good stuff. Tell people where they can see the podcast and all the other stuff you do.
They can either find me on YouTube or Facebook at Blue Note, one word, Fan Report. The Blue Note Fan Report on Facebook or YouTube. I do, in the off-season, I'm not doing as much, but during the season, I do a weekly show, and I also do 2 to 3 games a week where I come on and I watch the game and then react to it live on, and you can comment and talk about the game with me as we're going along.
Guy, we'll get you on. We'll check in on the 20 or 30 game mark to see how the Blues are doing. How does that sound?
Oh, man, you can check in with me anytime. All you got to do is ask, my friend.
I appreciate it, Guy. You're great stuff. Thanks for doing this, sir. We'll talk soon.
Oh, no problem. Anytime, my friend, anytime.
Guy BSing, doing a great job covering the Blues. And, he's a fan of the Blues, but he'll give you, he likes this, he doesn't like that. I have time for people like that. It's cool to be a fan, and we're fans. But also tell me what you don't like. Tell me where it could be better, and Guy does a great job on that. When we come back, we got some Penn State for you. Absolutely, don't go anywhere. Summer edition of the Power Play. This is the summer edition of the Power Play, Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. Mick and Lucas with you. Thanks for Guy BSing from Hawaii, talking to the St. Louis Blues. Love it. Time now to talk some college hockey. We do that a lot with our good...
Well, there we go. That was the interview that was on NHL Radio. Go ahead, Matt Lowe. Fire him away, buddy. He says, good stuff. Only have a couple of critiques. Fire away. Justin, you got to hear it now. So, floor is yours. Talk away, my friend.
I enjoyed it, man. I think I'm happy for you. Like I said before you even went on the show, I told you on that Thursday, when I was at work, I was like, hey, man, I wish you good luck on the interview. It sounded like you guys covered as much as you could, in a short amount of time. That was allotted, I guess. But I think what you guys covered, I think was perfect. I would have loved to hear the thoughts on the JK thing if that was if they were able to get into that. But I mean, that is okay. I mean, that's you covered most of the good stuff.
I had put in a thing where I'd listed all, like we talked about before, the off season, everything that had happened, and I had the JK thing there at the end, but I can understand them not getting into that.
Yeah.
I can understand some media not getting into that. And that's okay. That really is. The goal was to discuss the Blues and I think it was more the on ice product, because media talking about media sometimes comes off wrong. Right?
Yeah.
I've heard I've been on TikTok a lot, and I've heard a bunch of stuff on TikTok from the radio guys, something Sports St. Louis or whatever it is. And it's got, I've heard Bernie Malayzik and a couple of the others. I mean, I could probably pull it up on TikTok. But the way they talk about it, it almost feels self-serving, right? And I didn't want to come across as that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The first time I was on, I asked if I could promote the show. He said, absolutely. I didn't ask it this time. He brought it up, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think, I think. Sorry to cut you off. I think, I think from a, from a media point, I think a lot of things that kind of gets lost in translations with, people who do, podcasts and, who cover media and all that, is like everybody's like in a competition. Like it feels like a competition, and generally it is. It's kind of more like a friendly competition of anything. But like it's nice when you have other people supporting other channels, media. It only grows. It makes the space grow rather than hurt it. And I think that kind of gets lost in translation sometimes by a lot of people.
Sam, if you want to have me on anytime, I will try and send you a message tomorrow on Facebook and let you know. You want to set something up, let me know. I'll gladly come on and talk about what I know. The minor league side a little better than I do. The prospect side a little better than I do, but I can talk about what I see and hear. I would love to come on. I would love to help you out. I will say this. It did, when it comes down to it, it really did feel good. Being able to go on like that, being able to talk, it in some ways felt like I was a real insider almost. You know what I mean?
For sure.
That I got the opportunity to speak the way I feel, and I stayed in my swim lane. At least I like to think that, right? That I stayed within what I knew and how I observed things, and I left it at that. What the Blues did during the first round of the playoffs, I mean, how many people had them to getting swept or 5 games out? Not a lot of people have that has a 7-game series. And
I think.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I think the only people that really even gave the Blues a chance were Blues fans, like themselves. Like, and even then, I don't even think I have dealt with Blues fans that thought that they didn't have a single chance at all. But like, I knew that they had a chance in that series. But like, as for like a majority, like everybody had them like 4 games, 5 games, somewhere in that area. Yeah, for sure.
The Blues only lost 1 game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know I struggle with names. That's always been something with me, and it's been something for lifelong thing. I wish I was better at it. I wish sometimes I just get flustered, and you can hear it. I got flustered a little bit, right?
Yeah. I think it's just kind of trying to calm down and kind of like, and like those names are hard. Like the people that play sports, like they got some unique names. Like not everything is so, common or anything like that. But I think sometimes I get confused when you talk about Jimmy Snuggerud, because you say something completely different, and I'm like, who is he talking about? And I'm like, oh, he's talking about Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yeah. I got it right
But-
on the show, though. I got it right on the show. Right?
Did you? It kind of sounded like Snoogard.
No,
I feel like
maybe I thought I said Snuggerud.
I think you said Snoogard, because you usually do say that, but like, I never like try, like, it probably comes off as like me being like a dick or something, but like I never try to be that. Like I try to correct and try
Matt
to.
does it too, and I've had other co-hosts on that would just yell at me. Right when we first got the defenseman from Boston that's now on the shelf,
Torrey Krug.
I would destroy his name, and I had a co-host. I won't say his name because I want nothing to do with the man anymore. But he yelled at me, yelled the guy's name right on during the show. You know, he blasted at me. So yeah, I get it. I screw up names sometimes.
Oh
right?
yeah, and I'll never yell at it. I like to correct, because I know even though I know what you're talking about, I like to get that.
And that's fine. You want to get it correct, right? You want to get it correct, and I get it, and I try. I make mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Everybody makes mistakes.
Snuggerud is not the easiest name. Even if you look at it, you don't pronounce it the way it's spelled. Right? That's why I say Snugard, because that's what it looks to me.
Yeah, I just call him, what I call him is Jimmy Snugglebug. That's all I call him.
Shockey says I just now started getting his name right. And I've known him 6 years, since the show began. So I do the best, and for sure. I want to give insight. Now, I will say this: I have not seen a leap in followership from the show. In fact, both of the things that I mentioned, neither one of them gained a follower. I gained 3 followers on TikTok somehow, and I never even mentioned TikTok. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, there is something on TikTok that I want to bring up, and we may be bringing this person on. I go through TikTok, and I go through the different tags and things like that. Just recently, I saw a post from a gentleman that put up this post about when the schedule came out, that on his birthday, the Blues were playing San Jose in San Jose. I'm going to see if we can do this here real quick. Let's bring him up here. And this is the post.
I think you're headed for a breakdown. So be careful not to
bring the volume down a little bit. So he asked his wife if how many likes, and this goes so I can't control it. How many likes to go see the Blues in San Jose? He needs to get 10,000 likes, and both the Blues and the Louis have to sign off on it. So we're gonna have to work on that, and hopefully I can get him on the show. I've reached out to him. We've talked. He seemed like he wants to do it. ZT Hole is the name he uses on Facebook or on TikTok. Pardon me. So if we get a chance to get him on, I would love to. Not saying that it will happen, but you never know, right? Mm-hmm. And again, you go out and you try and talk to people and let them know what you do, and that's the best way that I feel that we're going to get stuff for the show, right? Samantha says, can't wait for hockey to start. Advice, try to come up with nicknames for the players. I'm not good at that, I did for a while.
I already gave you a money one, man. Jimmy Snugglebug Snuggerud. There we go. There's one right there.
Yeah, the Snuggerud. Right? The Snuggie The Jimmy Snuggie,
Yeah.
Jimmy the Snuggie Snuggerud. Yeah.
Jimmy the Snugglebug.
Yeah, that's not a bad one. We called Kairu Kid Kai for a while.
That's a good
right. Kaigo.
one. I call Robert Thomas the Train.
Thomas the Choo Choo Train. Yeah. Thomas. Now I gotta be honest right now. If you want the leader of this team, it is not Chin. I know he's wearing the C. It's not. No, we have used the torpedo for Torpachinko. I call him. I mean, being a Navy guy, of course I'm gonna call him the torpedo. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that's a good point that you bring up, and it kind of goes back to like what we talk about with Robert Thomas in a way. Like he's not wearing the captain letter right now, but he's definitely a leader, and you can tell that just on the on ice product, like how he acts. He's very Ryan O'Reilly-esque. Like he's very like hard on himself when he's not, performing up to where he would like. You could tell that he's not happy about it. And that makes a good player. That's a competitive player.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Hey, Wendy, how are you doing, buddy?
I just wanted to pop in and say hey to you guys.
What?
What's going on, man?
I just wanted to pop in and just say hey to you guys.
Yeah, well, I just played, and you can go back and listen to it. I played my interview on NHL Radio.
Okay.
Right? And you did a fantastic job on the background. But now that I see it on the show, I do have a small critique, and maybe you can see it. I don't know if you can see me. Do you see the Blue Note over here?
Yeah, what?
Does it look a little big to you?
Oh, I kind of did a little bit of that as a little bit kind of intended, because when I was trying to remove the old logo, it wasn't really working right, and I kind of had to do a way where it fit well, and it just has a slight bit. It's so it didn't show like extra like kind of pixelation of the old logo kind of showing through. I kind of did an intentional make it a little bit bigger to make it work like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind the size of that.
Yeah,
the
only thing so when I do the background, the backgrounds, the topics, it's going to cover up the bottom part of the note in order for me to get the topic to fit right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, that's fine. I get it. I mean, if that's something that can't be fixed or the reason that's it. It's just when I saw it, it kind of, originally it didn't feel big to me, but now when I see it on the show, it feels a little big.
Okay.
Right? But again, you did a fantastic job. I am not complaining.
And I threw those together like at 2 in the morning. So
yeah. I was surprised. I mean, you were even up at that period.
I'm usually up that late anyways.
I remember us talking about it, so I went ahead and just sent you what I had. By the way, did you notice, Justin, I put the STL down here? Right?
Yeah, I do like that. I don't know how everybody else's thoughts on that. There was nothing. I didn't mind the other one. I like the the STL logo.
The way that these are set, these two logos, I can flop them around. Right? Uh-huh. I can put different logos there. I can put the STL. I can put the other one, the
trumpet.
The trumpet, and then there's one more, right?
Fleur-de-lis.
Fleur-de-lis. Yeah, I could put the fleur-de-lis there. So I have some workaround. I could even put the Blue Note there. It doesn't have to always have that background. It can always be moved around or changed or adjusted with something.
Yeah, I'm currently on vacation, so that's what I was thinking. I just got into Florida just like not even an hour and a half ago. So I was I saw this, you guys were live, so I just popped in.
Yeah, you're welcome, Wendy. I appreciate it.
Go
ahead, Wayne.
No, you're good. I was just saying, Wendy, you're in Florida early for the Hawks versus the Panthers.
Same family down here.
I know. I'm just kidding you.
Yeah.
He's excited about the start of the season. Got to get down there now to get in line to get his tickets.
Yeah,
right?
I know. He's.
No, I have my full I have my half season at the United Center already. So,
right. I think this is going to be a good season. I really do. I don't think the Hawks are. They may be at the bottom of the division, but I don't think they're going to be as bad as Wendy thinks they are. Right?
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be bottom of the league for sure.
Well, they've got.
That's just my honest opinion.
Well, you got to. It's just like in baseball. Your team goes the way your pitching goes, right? If you have good starting pitching, you're usually going to have a good season. You have, better than average relief pitching, you're going to have a good season. In the NHL, it's goaltending. If you have better than average goaltending, it's going to help your season out. And I think right now, like you've talked about, Wendy, you could have better than average goaltending. And if you do have better than average goaltending, you're going to talk about 3 to 5 games getting stole per goaltender.
I mean, we have Spencer Knight as our starter, who this will be his first year as a full-time starter. And his backup will be Arvid Soderblom. We still have Laurent Brossoit, who I swear is a fake man already. Mm-hmm. But because Brossoit never played a game last year, and he's still under contract this year. And there's speculation they're going to try and maybe move him if he's healthy. If he's not, he's probably just done.
Spencer Knight's a good pickup for sure. The way I look at it like this is like, yeah, I would, like how we were talking about a few shows ago, how I would honestly take we would take the Chicago goaltending pairing than the Avalanche's pairing. But the thing is the problem with that is yeah, Chicago has Connor Bedard, but the Avalanche have Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar. So, kind of a bigger difference there. And they have a little bit more surrounding talent. I don't think the Avs are deep by any means, but
the Avs salary cap has got to start come and start biting them in the rear end here sooner or later.
Oh, it is already.
It is already. They don't have any depth. I agree with Wendy that I think their center depth is not good at all.
Brock Nelson should not be a number 2 center in Colorado.
No.
And at some point, it's going to translate in the standing. It hasn't yet.
It will. Yeah.
But it did a little last year. I mean, they fell into what? Third. And they were just a little over. Were they at 100 points? I don't even know if they were at 100 points.
I think they were 100.
Somewhere close.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think there was some there. They were close, but I think it was 100.
Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado. You look at those 3 teams, and to me, one of them's got to fall. Right. One of them's got to fall.
I don't think Winnipeg is going to win the division this year, frankly, because I think what happened last year was that one season of everything was working for Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
And people pegged them last year to miss the playoffs. And
Winnipeg's not winning the division this season. That's not happening.
They make the playoffs, but I don't know about top 3 right now. I have to really look into it.
But I'm looking at St. Louis now. I've seen like Blues Views and a few others out there, and I don't remember the names of them. The on Twitter, they do their little cartoon things or whatever. And I've seen a couple of them come out there say that the Blues are not better now than at the start of the preseason or the off season. And I said it on the radio. I disagree with that. I think we have upgraded at center. I think we have upgraded at defense. I didn't get to talk about this on the interview. Letty being gone. That helps us a lot, right? Mei Lu, am I saying that? It's Mei Lu.
Male you, like male, and then you.
Yeah. I thought I said it right on the show. I'm not sure. I think Mel Yu has the potential to be a Boberg type guy, but with an offensive thought power. He's away from. Hold on. He's away from the fishbowl of Montreal and all the controversy that surrounded him. While he's been a upstanding citizen the entire time, it was still there. It was there the moment he got traded. The moment he got traded, I heard it. In St. Louis, he's not going to have that. And if he can be an offensive guy from the second or third pairing, I think that's what the Blues need. Justin, you disagree with me, I can tell.
No. I was actually kind of agreeing with you and kind of adding on. Male U is first of all, he's what they wanted because I think Doug is setting up. First of all, he's setting up for Steen to come in, and he's saying, "Here, Steen, I'm still going to show you the ropes. I'm still going to show you how to do this, how this should be done. But I want to get a younger defensive core to back you when you come in, so you don't have to worry about a very aging defensive core when he comes in, as GM." I think Male U has the potential, and he kind of, if you think about it, he kind of fits the play style of the Blues. I mean, what are the Blues very good at that most teams usually struggle with, especially in the playoffs? The Blues were one of the best teams at defensemen creating offense, right? So if this guy comes in and he's offensive minded and he can really add to the scoring sheet or just getting the offense going, then that's going to be pretty dangerous because the Blues have always been a pretty good team that creates offense from their defense.
I agree with that. Milieu lays the body and has crazy offense. I mean, but we also, so this is, I got to talk about it a little bit on the interview. Our cupboard is full right now. And we have a couple of defensemen that are a year away or less, right? If you go and bring up what's in the minor league system, and this is Sam's, Sam can help us out on this one. When you go down and you look at what we've got in defense, our non-roster defensemen, right? Adam, and I'm going to kill this name, so I don't want to hear any shit about me killing names. Adam Jarek is a 19-year-old. Jarek, thank you. Jarek, 19 years old. He was injured last year. This is his first real year, right? Am I thinking of the right guy? The one that was injured last year?
Yes, he was.
First round draft pick, if I remember correct, right?
Yeah.
You also have Theo Lindstein. He's age 20. He was the second of the first round draft picks, of the 3 first round picks we had. Actually, he might have been the third. I think the second was Otto Steinberg.
Yeah, Otto Steinberg.
I think he was the second pick. And then actually it might have been Adam Gicho might have been the injured guy that I was thinking about. Right?
I don't know. I thought Adam Yurchek was the one who was injured, and they knew that, but he was injured.
Might have been. Give me a moment to figure out how screwed up I am.
I believe Adam Yurchek was the guy that you were thinking of that was injured. If I'm not mistaken.
Right. Hey guys, I'm going to hop off here because I just want to pop in and say hey to you guys.
Hey, Anytime, man. We greatly appreciate it, Wendy. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
I
And
want
again,
to ask one question, Guy. What do you like the shades of blue I added to your background versus how it used to look?
Yes, I do. I do wish, and I know we talked about it a little bit, the bottom was a little lighter, not as light as the top part, because I know that but just a little bit lighter so the logos and the words can come up a little, can show a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you kind of worked on it a little bit. No, you did a fantastic job with it. And the BlueNote Fan Report, the way you changed the letter, or you kept the same lettering style, but the color with the and I tried to tell you this before, the shadow, I love the shadow. Maybe a little deeper on the shadow, you know what I mean? The background, you can like move that in and out. Maybe a little deeper on the shadow, but otherwise I think it's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I do.
All right, and we can always talk about it later, but you did a great job, and thank you, Wendy. All right?
Yep.
Great job.
Yeah, man. Have a good
one. Enjoy
vacation.
Florida.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Take care, bud. Right? So it was Jerchik who was the first round pick last year, right? So we go back a couple of years now, right? Go back to 3 years ago, 2023, 2 years ago, really. The 3 first-round picks were Dvorsky, number 10, Steinberg, number 25, Lenstein, number 29. Lenstein is probably 2 years away. Steinberg is sometime this year. Dvorsky should be early in the year.
Yeah.
Like as soon as there's a hole, then Dvorsky should be up in my mind. Right? Who was the other guy we were see? I'm trying to do this 2 times here.
I think who was the other guy? I think didn't you name them all?
Jarek, we might. I don't think Jarek was a draft pick. Now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, Adam Mirchek. Yeah, he was. He was, I believe. Yeah,
no,
he was.
There was one of them that I said their name that maybe one of the defensemen. I don't know.
Well, you had what? Theo Lindstein. You had Otto Stenberg. You had.
Adam Gicho. Adam Gicho. I didn't see him in the draft. I didn't see Adam Gicho in the draft pool. Oh, here he is. Yeah, he was a 3rd round pick last year in 24.
Yeah.
Right. 3rd round pick in 24, along with Andre Kos. And I think Kos is probably 2 years away. Chicho's probably 2 years away. He's a center, so he could be that guy that comes in and plays that 4th line for a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you look at our cupboard, and our cupboard is like full. Right?
The prospect pool for the Blues is up there, and I think that's the reason to be excited. And I think that's another reason that most fans, although they're angry about someone like Zach Bolduc, not being here anymore, I think that's still another reason to just give it time to play out, because I think that you have all these other guys that are going to come in, that are going to excite you, and you're going to have that same feeling that you had with Zach Bolduc. But I think like I said, I still think it's fresh. I think that trade in general is going to take time to marinate, to see if it actually comes to the Blues' success. But we don't know until it happens.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah,
looking at this year's roster, right, including the 23-man roster, right, and I can read it off if you want, but in the 23-man roster, who is put up or shut up this year? And I have 2, maybe 3.
Well, here, who's put up or shut up?
This is it. They either come through and really show that they're an NHL level player, that they belong in the roster, or they're going to be somewhere else next season, if not during this season?
Honestly, I couldn't give you any off the top of my head. And I know that sounds like a cop out answer, but I honestly, with the group that we've had, with the movement that we've seen, I don't know if I really feel that way on anyone per se. I'm not like, oh, if they don't perform well, that I think that they're gone. But I mean, if you want to give me who you're kind of thinking, it might maybe help me out, a little bit in my thought process. But
right, I have 3.
Okay.
Alexandrov, he's had a cup of coffee with the Blues. He's on the 40 man. He spends time down, but when he comes up, he's on the 23 man, and he could come up. But this is either you do what you need to do. He's 25 now, or I think he's gone, right? Or I think he becomes a straight AHL player where Springfield pays his salary, not the Blues. Like he comes off the 40-man roster, right? Mm-hmm. And then Tucker and Kessel. Both these defensemen have had opportunities, and it just seems they keep getting pushed down, or someone else. Why when you have Tucker and Kessel and you bring Milieu in, that doesn't bode well for either Tucker or Kessel, right? Yeah. This is the put up or shut up, and I honestly could see both of them being gone, or in the minors by trade deadline, or if not before. I'll say this, by November, right?
Well, I think for me, I think I guess I don't really look at it in that type of way, I guess, per se, because the way I look at with Tyler Tucker is he came in and he was great with Nick Leddy on the third pair, and he came in and was great. The thing with Tyler Tucker is the way he plays. Tyler Tucker and Milieu, I haven't seen much of this, of Milieu or anything like this, but from what I hear and what people are saying about him being offensive, he's going to be an offensive guy. Tyler Tucker is not an offensive guy. Tyler Tucker is a guy who's going to, he's going to lay the body. He's going to be the defensive kind of enforcer that you need, that gives the team strength, gives the team power, but he's not going to be that offensive threat like Milieu could potentially be. We don't know yet.
I get it, but I'm just saying, you look at this young team, and this is a team, and especially with the cupboard, you look what's behind, and that's what we were talking about. What's in the cupboard? It's going to be these guys got to either. Tucker's a security blanket for injuries, but you know what? There's other guys you can use for that. You got guys that are almost ready to come up, right? And you got to be ready for you invested the money and the time in these guys. At some point, they got to come up. And then the other guy that I look at was our one miss from the draft, Texier, right? Texier is going to be on that. Texier is going to be on that third line, more than likely going on and off the third line with Shen and Snuggerud. Did I say it right?
Snuggerud. Snuggerud.
Right. With Shen and Snuggerud. And he's either going to help make that line and perform, or he's going to be off. He's going to be in the press box again, like he was last year, and he's going to be trading, and he's going to be switching on and off with Joseph as it is. Mm-hmm. Right. So
it's weird. The way that I think about it is it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, it's always an interesting thought process on like who you think could be like a put up or shut up kind of player. But I think the one thing that's also good to know is like the Blues have options. So there's no such thing as having too many options is a bad thing. Like having too many options is not a bad thing. It's a great thing to have.
Actually, I think it can be a bad thing. Having
Well,
too many options is why we don't have Tage Thompson on our roster. Right? And having a guy that can score, what did he score? 50 one year? Right? I think he had a 50-goal year, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but like for me, guy, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I know like what we're, kind of what you're saying, but like it's just for me, it's a hockey trade. I get it. Everybody like Tage Thompson. Yes, it would be great to have him, but like Tage Thompson does not. I'm telling you right now. I'm sorry, he does not become that type of player here in St. Louis. He got the opportunity in Buffalo. That's where he got it, and he got that opportunity because he played first line minutes. He was able to develop there. They did, Buffalo didn't have the guys that we did. At the
time. And while I understand that, and while I get that, right, when he got time, when he finally became a full-time NHL player, the last 4 years, 38 goals, 47 goals, 29 goals, 44 goals. He would have led the Blues twice. Actually, 3 times. I think he would have led the Blues in goals 3 times.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, growth of players and a team. I see that. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Right? When you have all of that, when you have a full cupboard, at some point you got to start using it. Right?
For sure.
And that's why, great. You have a lot of options, but at some point, it can become a disadvantage, right?
I think. Is it which one's the defense? Am I getting it wrong? Which one's the defenseman? Is it Stenberg that's the defenseman, or is it Lindstein? I think it's Lindstein, right?
Lindstrom, I think.
Lindstein, Theo Lindstein, Lindstein, or whatever.
And he's, from what I'm hearing, he's 2 years away, if not a bust.
Yeah, right. I'm not too sure. The way I think about it is I think that I know we're kind of getting that I'm getting off base here, but I think when we're talking prospects, when you look at who we got in the pipe, I think we're looking at possibly Otto Stenberg probably coming in. I think he's not a center, right? He's a winger. I believe
center and wing.
Okay, yeah. So I think that I think that actually might be part of a solution for the missing piece that Bolduc leaves. But obviously we won't know because he hasn't played any games with us. But I mean, I don't think he's that far away either.
Snoogie is that replacement for Bolduc this season, plain and simple.
Well, it's right? Actually it's interesting. I do kind of agree with you in a way. I will say though, I am 100% confident that Montgomery will give Snuggerud time with Robert Thomas this season at some point. When things aren't going well, he will definitely put Jimmy Snuggerud with Robert Thomas. I can already picture it now. Obviously that's not going to be a set line or nothing, but if things start going bad, I could definitely see them putting those two together.
I just had a line pop into my head, and I don't know if it will work, and it could work, right? And it depends on how you play them, but here's a possible line, right? Holloway, Kyrou, and Neighbors. Holloway can play center. Neighbors can play either side. Kyrou plays right, but I've seen him play on the off wing too. Right? But that right there, if you wanted to put Snuggerud on that top line, I think that you would have to look at making that a line, right? Because we saw what Kyrou and Holloway did together. They clicked. And you cannot, I'm sorry, you cannot do a Berube and break up a powerful line. And that's what Berube did. That's what Berube had, a powerful line. And sorry, I didn't mean to walk all over you. But as soon as he got it, it had one bad game and he broke it up and never used it again. And then we lost all the pieces of that line. Well, most of the pieces of that
line. If I can be honest with you, do you want my honest opinion about what I think about that line?
Every time.
Me, I don't like it. I do agree with you 100%. Holloway and Kyrou should not split up. That should be that those two should play together the whole time. I don't care, what you do. I mean, obviously, there's going to be times where you're going to flip Kyrou and put him on the first line with Thomas because the Thomas Bush and Kyrou, so-and-so that they always try to do if things go bad. But Holloway and Kyrou should not be split up. But Neighbors, I love Neighbors, but Neighbors does not need to play on that line. And I get putting Holloway at center because he could play it. Holloway needs to play the wing because if Holloway doesn't play the wing, then we don't see the quick, pop gun, really explosive offense if we don't have Holloway on the wing. Center makes him play more defensive, and although that's great if he can do that, I don't have a problem with that, but you need two wingers, and I would put, like I said, my goal would be to put Suter. I would put P. Suter with Kyrou and Holloway.
I don't have a problem with that either, but putting Neighbors down with Shen, I don't think works. Neighbors and Shen are the same player. Right? While Neighbors plays the wing, he's that big, tough, get in front of the net guy that Kyrou and Holloway aren't. And he's that guy that will go dig pucks out of the corner. If that's your third line, not a face-off line, but your third line, you're bringing him in as a third line. Now you're giving yourself speed, tenacity, and an offensive understanding against a checking line. I'll take that.
I think in the concept of it, I think it's great. I mean, I really like Neighbors. I think the best way to describe Neighbors is the same way that we describe Shin for a long time, the heart and soul of the Blues. And I really do think that first of all, I think Neighbors is kind of touted as he's like a unicorn, man. The guy can do everything. Like he can score, he can assist, he can hit, he's a tough guy. Like he can do it all. He's a unicorn. Obviously, he's not like Brady or Matthew Tkachuk, unicorn. But like he's a unicorn if you think about it in every aspect. He can do it all. And I do think that does give a net front presence. But then again, though, like I said, that puts Holloway at center. And it's kind of the same way I feel about Buchnevich is he's a center, but like we don't play him at a center. And if we played Buchnevich at a center, it just wouldn't work. He has to be we need a guy who's going to be defensively responsible at center. Just in my opinion.
Possible. And again, sometimes I think in the off season you need to just you need to shake the dice up, right? And roll them and see where they go. I call Jake a more talented Bacchus. That's not a bad recommendation there. That's not a bad
comparison.
Yeah, comparison there. It's not bad at all.
No.
You look at this team, and the Central is stacked. Dallas, Winnipeg, Colorado, Minnesota, and Utah, and us. That's 6 of the 8 teams, right, in our division. Have I got that right? 6 of 8? I don't know which one I'm missing.
I think yeah, I think it's something. Well, yeah, you'd have to name it again. I was half in, half out, to be honest.
Hold on.
Minnesota, Dallas. That's 2.
Okay, here I go. Oh, the Preds. I missed the Preds. Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota, Utah. All of those were, Utah was at 89 points, so basically 90 points or better, right? Those 6 teams are going to be vying for 4 or 5 spots. You look at Winnipeg and say, okay, they're going to fall off. Okay, how far are they going to fall off? And if they fall off, who jumps up? Dallas, 106 points. Colorado, 102 points. Minnesota, 97. Us, 96. I see us as a 100-point team. Minnesota, I think that's the iffy one. And to me, Minnesota, believe it or not, is going to ride on what happens with Tarasenko. If Tarasenko finds a resurgence, Minnesota is going to be a really, really tough team. That's why when people look at that schedule and go, oh, Minnesota, not much. Minnesota could find that resurgence. Their question mark may be goaltending, right? That, to me, their question mark, their one question mark could be goaltending. But other than that, and again, X factor is Tarasenko there, right? Colorado, goaltending. But they still, with the bad goaltending, they still, what was their goals against? I don't have it here in the quick one that I have. But
what do I always say, guy? What's this? I don't know if you remember. What do I always say about Colorado? I compare them to. I'll give you a hint. I always say that I compare them to Edmonton. So based on that, what do I say? Like my thoughts on how I compare Edmonton to Colorado.
Okay.
Or Colorado and Edmonton.
With their shaky goaltending, okay, they were plus 43. They gave up 234 goals. We have better goaltending than them, right? We'll admit that. We gave up 233. We gave up one less goal than they did. But we were a plus 21. They may have the offense to over. They showed this last season. They had the offense to overcome the goaltending.
Okay.
Top three teams had the exact same goals for. 277. 277 for the Jets, 277 for the Stars, 277 for the Avalanche. Next, second, are tied for our third or fourth, because those were all tied for first, right? Fourth in our division was who?
I don't know. Us, maybe?
Us at 254. Minnesota was actually sixth. Utah had 241. Minnesota had 228. But Minnesota only gave up 239 goals. They had no offense. They had great goaltending, no offense.
Okay. So that's why I bring it up. You kind of answered it, but kind of didn't.
Yeah.
About my comparison to Colorado to Edmonton.
Oh no, I
Colorado and Edmonton outscore their actual issues, and their actual issues lie with their defensive depth and their goaltending. Those teams don't falter because they have the all-star players to outscore their issues, but that's that's what most people don't really understand. Like, oh my, Colorado, Edmonton, they're so great, but like they really don't like watch the games. Like, if you watch the games, you could tell that those teams just outscore their problems on the back end. And it's like I said about it's an unpopular.
You bring up something really important. I want to throw this out to you. Okay. Eye test, straight up eye test. Who has the better overall team, Edmonton or St. Louis?
The eye test, like, see, that's for me. I mean, I'm a Blues fan, so obviously I'm going to be a homer, biased, but most people's answer is going to be Edmonton. If I'm looking at it from like a general standpoint, based on what everybody else think, I would say people would say Edmonton's the better team, but I think the Blues are a better team.
Okay. I agree with you completely. Now, why I bring this up. Edmonton scored. Now, they had 101 points. So 5 more points than the Blues, right? The Blues were 38, 31, and 13. Edmonton was 48, 29, and 5. Or, pardon me, I got the wrong number. The Blues were 44, 30, and 8. Okay? 44, 30, and 8. Edmonton was 48, 29, and 5. For 101 points, we had 96. Edmonton scored 259 goals. The Blues scored 254. 5 less. The Blues gave up 233. Edmonton gave up 236, 3 more. On paper, just paper, the Blues and Edmonton are even.
Yeah.
Almost even. Right? Puck bounce here or there. Puck bounce here or there. And we're 101 points. You take out, and I said this on the show, that first 21 games where they didn't play. If we had Montgomery for the whole season, I think we have 102 to 100. I think we're in second or third. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not think that, after the performance that they gave, after the Four Nations and everything.
Yeah. Right. I may have to go back and do that. Maybe for the next show. I'll go back. I want to take the Blues stats from the first 21 games, from the Bannister era, and look at the last 50-something games where Montgomery was the coach, and see how much of a difference there really was, right? Because I think it's night and day. I think the goals against per game goes way down. Again, Bannister was defensive, and I think we gave up less goals per game under Montgomery than we did under Bannister. And that's because of the misunderstanding of what hockey really is. That it's not a defensive sport, it's an offensive sport, and that when you control the puck, the other team can't score. And that is what I think Montgomery understands, and that's what I think Montgomery brings to the Blues.
Might I add that, kind of going back to what you were talking about, how we were comparing like Edmonton and the Blues. If you really think about it, it kind of is impressive, and it's kind of speaks to how good of a team the Blues were, in the second half of the season, that they're playing in a very competitive division, one of the more competitive in the league. But then you look at Edmonton's division, you got to also take into account their division. Their division is one of the weakest in hockey. Who's vying for that? Who was vying for those playoff spots? There was really Edmonton, LA, and Vegas. Those were the 3 teams vying for, a playoff spot in that division.
Well, Calgary was right there. I mean, they tied with us.
Oh, Calgary. I knew I was forgetting one. But Calgary, for me, I know they had a good season, but for me, it kind of felt like, and I don't like to bring up the name, and I don't like to, be that guy because I love the guy, but like it's kind of like the same with Columbus. I think they're getting younger, but like I feel like it was like a Johnny Hockey. Um, you know, we had that sad news about him passing and all that, and I feel like that lit a fire under those two teams specifically because of the connections that he had to those teams.
It's possible. I'm not going to not say that, but I don't know.
I mean, they played strong all season, especially Calgary. They played strong all season, and I get that, and Columbus did a very good job too. And Columbus is, they're way younger, and they do got some very star guys on their studs on their team that are gonna probably be good for years to come. But like I look at like a team like Calgary, and look at their best player. Their best player was Nazem Kadri. Like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but Nazem Kadri to me is not moving the needle. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, but Calgary was at best a retooling like bottom team. Like I was shocked that they did as well as they did. To be honest.
So Montgomery coached 60 games with the Blues this year. So 22 is what Bannister had. Right, and I'm bringing something up here real quick. At least I'm working on it. I was working. Let me I'm still kind of bringing this up here. So give me a moment. I actually think you like me, so you will. I need one more game. There we go. So St. Louis. Under Montgomery, played 22 games, right? 82 games, 60 for him, 22 for Bannister. They were 9-12-1. They had a .432 points percentage, right? They had they had scored 52 goals while allowing 74. So that's a -18, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
-18. So they were giving up they were scoring 2.36 goals per game and giving up 3.36. Now this is with a defensive coach. A defensive coach. They were giving up 3.36 goals per game. Then you come in with Montgomery, and I don't have the exact numbers. I'm working at trying to figure out a way to pull them up separately here. I may have to do. Oh crap. So I'm going to let me try something here to try and bring them up separately. I'm going to try to do a side-by-side comparison. It's going to take me a second. So give me a moment.
No, you're good.
Yeah. You having fun tonight, man?
Am I? Yeah, I'm having fun, man.
All right. No, just making sure you're enjoying yourself. Right?
No, you're good. I just was checking a few things.
Say again?
I'm good. I just was checking a few things.
Okay. So we come over here. November 24th. Just St. Louis. St. Louis Blues. That's 60. Okay. So side-by-side comparison. All right. Let me kind of pull this over here. Make sure I did this right. Here we go. Okay, side-by-side comparison. I have to cover up your face in order to do that. Right? So, Montgomery gets 60 games. He goes 35-18-7 for 77 points with a 642 points percentage. 642 points percentage. The Blues score 198 goals while giving up 157. That is, I'm going to have trouble doing the math on that. Is that 50, 67, 77, 87? That's 41 goal differential, plus 41. Okay? They went from a minus 18 to a plus 41. They went from 2.36 goals per game to 3.3 goals per game scoring. They went from giving up 3.36 to giving up 2.62. If that doesn't tell you right there how much of an offensive game this is, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. And if you take that 22 games that we miss and put in the numbers that we had at the beginning, we might be the President's Trophy winner.
Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be interesting. Like, I'm very confident. Like, I've been pretty confident that the Blues. I mean, I was definitely confident last season that they would make the playoffs. Yeah. You know, before the season even started. But like, for me, I'm very confident, and I would be very disappointed if not. The Blues 100% make the playoffs this season.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, the only question mark is where it's going to be. Like, where are they going to be when they actually make the playoffs? But I do think that they're going to make the playoffs 100%.
They're in the top three. They're not a wild card team. They're in the top three, right? I mean, I can't see the regression. You know what I mean? I don't see the regression. You look at this team and you say, okay, who regresses? Well, the guys that regress, I think, have been replaced. Maybe Leddy regresses. Maybe Foxter regresses. Maybe Suter regresses. They've all been replaced. Right? Does Shen regress? Maybe, but I don't know. Does Bushnevich regress? No, I think Bushnevich goes forward. Does Thomas regress? No, I think Thomas goes forward. Does Kyrou regress?
Oh,
no, I think Thomas. I think Kyrou goes forward. Does Holloway regress? No, I think Holloway goes forward. Does Boberg regress? No, I can't look at the majority of these guys and say the guys that I say regress are the guys that you think. Texier and Joseph. I think they could regress. But if they do, there's guys to pull out and put in their place.
Yeah, I think I just there's no way to me that this team regresses. I mean, the talent they made the playoffs last season when no one gave them a chance, and I think they're better than what they were last season already before the season even starts. I just don't see a regression happening, especially with a full season under Montgomery, with two great goaltenders that can play. Not where you're playing like Winnipeg minutes, where you're playing, we're playing Jordan Binnington for 70 games, just like they play Hellebuck for 70 games, and then expect him to go into the postseason. And
Binnington's going to get 50 to 55.
Well, but that's fine. And then Holford gets like 30. So I mean, like that's great. That's what your goaltending tandem should be. You shouldn't be playing like Winnipeg, where they play Hellebuck for 70 games of the season and then give the backup like 12 games. That's just not how it should be. That's why I think Hellebuck, kind of falters in the postseason because, he plays too much in the regular season.
I'm trying something here real quick.
Oh no, you're good. And I think I was just exaggerating. Obviously 70 games is not what he played, but he played. I think Hellebuck played like 60 games last season. Something absolutely ridiculous. That one goalie should not be playing that amount of games.
Okay, are you ready to have your mind blown?
Yep, go ahead. Let's see it. Let's hear it.
The Blues played under Montgomery at a 642 clip, right? Mm-hmm. What does that translate out to over 82 games?
Man, I would say out of an 82 games, he didn't play what 22. He wasn't coaching for 22 of them. I would say, man, God, I would say probably in the 700s, probably.
No. What I'm asking is how many points would they have?
Oh, how many points?
If they played at that clip. Actually, it may have come up wrong. I think it did. So never mind.
Okay, yeah, well, because it was weird because the question that you asked me, it didn't sound like you said points. It just said like the percent.
No, what I meant was the point. How many points does it translate to? And unfortunately, I think my numbers got skewed somehow.
Yeah. Well, at a 642, I would say probably somewhere around like 110 points, maybe.
106.
106. So I was close.
Not the way I did my math, and I guess it came up wrong. It came up to 127. But,
okay. Yeah. No. I was close though. My guess was pretty close.
Yeah. Your guess was dead on, basically. All right, because the Dallas was at 646.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kings were at 640, and they were 105 and 106. So there. Yeah. So between 105 and 106. Right. Oh man. And that just I actually think, I don't know how my math. I came up with 128 points. So yeah, I really
that would be absurd.
Well, I took 82 and divided it by the point. Right, but I guess because the number I should have divided it by isn't 82. I know what I screwed. I know where I screwed it up. I should have taken 164 divided by 0.6. What was it? 642. I think I said.
Yeah.
Oh no, that didn't work out either. 164 times 0.624. Okay, yeah. It comes out closer to like 102, 103 points. But somewhere in that range. No, that's even not right. So I don't know. I'm screwing it up somehow. I'm trying to do math. I'm bad at it. 160. Yeah. So 164 times 0.624. Yeah, it's still not coming out right. Okay. Oh, well. Oh, because it's 642. That's why, guy. Okay, yeah, but somewhere in that range, 105, 106 points. And that would have put us right where the Dallas Stars were. Right? So we would have put Colorado out of... We would have pushed Colorado out. You know, so... You know what, Justin? We did an hour and 50 minutes for a 1 hour show.
That's great. And yeah, honestly, these shows just seem to fly, man. I'll tell you what.
They're fun.
Give it to you. They are fun.
The only way it hurts, take your other shoe off. We haven't had like Shockey. We haven't had a comment from him in a good 30 minutes. So, I wish we got more comments, but you know what? We had good numbers watching us. At one point, it was up around 12. We ended up getting 8 people liking the show. Gabe Oberturf, Jason Nichols, Tad Dieterman, Samantha Robinson, Kyle Mead, Wayne Horter, Aaron Nels, and Marianne Holmes. Thank you so much.
I don't mean to cut you off. It would be nice, like I said, about getting more engagement. Comments. I think me and Guy both would love to hear, the fans' thoughts on, what you guys really want to see. Do you guys like when we kind of get off into different topics and, discuss them and like really ramble on? Or do you want to see more of a contained, where we try to keep it in a certain time, that's more applicable, or I don't even know the word, to be honest, more reasonable for a listening audience, per se.
Yeah, we could kind of look at that a little bit. I'm happy.
No, just to
with what
gauge
we do.
interest. Uh-huh.
I'm looking at this fake ID card. So I'm in a group of. Oh my goodness, this card could not be more fake. I'm in a Desert Storm veterans group, and someone's posting a ID card, right? And it's saying that they were an 010, but they're wearing the uniform of a E9, and actually not even an E9. It's a fake. I've never seen that many stripes or badges before. And saying they served for 20 years from 07 to or 30 years from 07 to 27. 27.
Not even 2027 yet.
Yeah. Right? No, it expires in 27.
Oh.
Right. Sorry, that wouldn't. The issue date was 1/10/07, and it expired. The card, you will never have a card that goes for 30 years. Never. Right. So yeah, it's as fake as you can get. But hey, man, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, man, of course.
We have AHDA staying. We ain't staying on topic. Had to make some tea. Yeah, shock. No problem, bud. Guys, have a great night. Justin, thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. I know this was last minute, but it was kind of, sometimes with my issues, it's got to be last minute. But thank you for coming along and joining us. I had a great show, man.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm always, like I said, I'm always open to doing shows. Of course, as long as I'm not at work. It's the weekend, so I didn't have a problem with that. I work tomorrow, but
yep, got one thing to say, and I think the boys will lead us away.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go